आप देख रहे हैं द डेली शो विद मुनीर नेमत।
Welcome back. We are going to discuss how Pakistani Prime Minister Mr. Shehbaz Sharif is going to visit China. His visit to Beijing would be an essential visit because right now what we see that Pakistan's economy is a big challenge. We have issues with IMF. There is a lot of pressure of implementing new taxes over the people of Pakistan. And right now what Pakistan needs is trade. What Pakistan needed is good friends helping out Pakistan. And China has been helping out Pakistan over the years. But not right now, Shehbaz Sharif visit to China, that would be essential. What are the key points of that visit and how this visit is going to help both the countries, especially Pakistan, rightly so? Mr. Shen, how do you see Shehbaz Sharif visit to China? Previously, Nawaz Sharif also visited China, that for probably a private reason, but we also know that when these people come to China, there are always some important exchange of information.
Yes. So far, the visit is not announced yet from the Chinese side, and recently for the Pakistani deputy prime minister and the foreign minister's visit, and he in the talks with the Chinese top diplomat Wang Yi, we both sides discussed about the phase 2 of the CPEC, and especially for the details designs. We reviewed the achievements achieved in the phase 1 of the CPEC. So the phase 2 of the CPEC will be the top priority in this regard, especially about the infrastructure implementation and about the design and also about the security issue, both in the CPEC and all in the regional affairs, like to have this kind of counterterrorism cooperation to make the security for this region, because the security is a kind of foundation for a sound development. And also for the people-to-people exchange were discussed in the recent talks, especially to have this land link. We know there's only one land pass between China and Pakistan is near the Karakoram highway. So that's port is a seasonal open one, and both sides will cooperate together to make it a 1-year open. And so that will be a big push for the cross-border trade, especially for the land link. And also, as you can see, for the western part of China, the Xinjiang, which is also bordering Pakistan, there are there are increasing investments in the railway links, and hopefully that will help to boost the China-Pakistan land trade also. And also, I think for the direct flights and also the visa facilitations will also be discussed to have more people-to-people exchange and to have more Pakistan young generations to come to China, and also for Chinese side to Pakistan for the economic and also for the academic research areas. So those areas will be top of the priority and to strengthen the China-Pakistan brotherhood in the new era.
And you pointed out that there is a little concern regarding security and terrorism. How do China see that thing? Because we've seen Pakistan has been battling this out for years and years, and now things are pretty much settled. But still, there is a sense of safety and security. Does this impact the CPEC thing or these big projects?
I think for China and Pakistan, we have both suffered from this kind of threats of the terrorism, and we are all the victims. So that's why we had a common stance that China and Pakistan are jointly with the to work with the international partners to against this kind of terrorism. And for the CPEC issue, so it is kind of reflected Chinese development philosophy, the global development initiative. That is through this kind of development that will bring benefits to the local people and to bring prosperity to a country, and that will eradicate the roots for those kind of terrorism or any security risk and also these kind of threats. So this is kind of the fundamental solution for the regional and for the regional security and improve the security condition. And for the CPEC, and China and Pakistan in recent talks have agrees that both sides will strengthen their cooperation, the mechanism to jointly protect the CPEC, to protect both Chinese and Pakistani engineers on those projects, because those projects are not situated in Pakistan, and all peoples, especially for the Pakistani engineering working on those projects, their lives are also very valuable, and because that matters to their families also. So in terms of this kind of jointly cooperation, and especially for the potential extension of the BRI like to the Afghanistan, that will in broader picture, that will bring benefits to the region and to eradicate the root of this kind of security risk, and also this kind of terrorism or radical thinking.
But Mr. Sen, don't you believe that there is one point that is real terrorism, but there is other thing that are rumors, that are negative marketing, or some planned such strategical placements that to malign the CPEC project, or just to lower down its sanctity. Don't you think that that is also happening in some part of the world? I don't want to quote the names, but we know how some of the countries are not that happy with the CPEC project. And that is again a big challenge for Pakistan and China also.
I think here I would like to quote a saying from U.S. congressman in recent days. So we can see that on social media. He just said the BRI is a brilliant idea, but unfortunately it is not us, the U.S. proposed idea. So I think for the great success of the BRI is witnessed by the globe. That's why you can see for the UN General Assembly, and also for all the many UN documents, they have enshrined the BRI cooperation and also the Global Development Initiative, which Pakistan also joined in their documents. So that reflects the people's desire for development, for the well-being, for good development, both for their personal, for their family, and for their country. So in facing of these risks, I want to tell those friends that we can join to work together to be partners, not enemies, because development will benefit all. Then the confrontation doesn't bring any good results for this region.
That would be great, because as we know that CPEC is a global project, and it's for the betterment of mankind and the entire humanity. Mr. Rizwan, as we talk about the CPEC, we all know that Pakistan faced a terrible backlash, and we see terrible kind of terrorism attempts being made in Balochistan, just to undermine the CPAC thing. We have seen people like Kulbhushan. We have seen people like many. I don't want to quote the names, but we know how the Indian lobby and others are working on just to damage the CPAC thing, or their efforts to just undermine that the Balochistan or the Pakistan is not safe for such big projects. Mr. Rizwan.
Well, my later statement will make you on a different mode. I think those who keep a diamond know how to defend it, how to keep it, and how to save it. So, security measures and our defense institutions, our army chief, there are Asim Munir, and our government, all are working on security issues of CPAC. There is no doubt. So, always enemies are after us, but we are after our economy, we are after friendship, we are after grand projects. So I don't think anybody will compromise on their economy and CPAC projects. So I don't think these happens. No issues. Let them come. We will
As
defend
Mr.
them.
Sen also said, I want your take, Mr. Rizwan, that if the other global players who join this project, it's not only a win-win situation for Pakistan and China only, it's going to benefit the others also. But somehow we see there is resistance, they are reluctant, or they are not even ready for it.
As previous, I told you that it's a mega project. Basically, it suits all the world, all countries, all nations, all leaders. So it's so beautiful designed. BRI project is that it suits every country. It
Yes.
suits every nation. It suits every civilization. That's why the enemy are so frustrated. They are seeing that it is joining the world, it is joining the world trade. So there's no doubt that there are so many enemies
There are
working
challenges.
against
There
this
are
project.
challenges, but
But
yes,
yeah, challenges,
Pakistan and
but
China are
it
quite
is so vast project.
determined.
It is so vast project. I don't see any failure in these projects.
Yes, that's true, and especially when CPEC and BRI already has completed phase one, and yeah, now we are entering in the phase two. Mr. Shen, talking about the terrorism and all those things, and talking about the myths, uh, we are also seeing that global peace and global issues are being building up. We've seen Russia, Ukraine. We have seen what's happening in Palestine. There are also news regarding Taiwan, China. Actually, what is your take on that? Because the global peace is what matters, and especially I want to know how the Taiwan thing is shaping up.
Yes, when we talk about the Taiwan question, I would like to say that China is the only country in the UN Security Council that didn't accomplish its national reunification since the 1940s. And you see that the Taiwan question is the result of the civil war of China, and the British government they flee to this island, and with the U.S. intervention in 1949, and that China didn't accomplish its national reunification because of the foreign intervention, because the U.S. sent their aircraft carriers in 1940s, and to stop the People's Liberation Army to achieve this kind of national reunification. So this question were left at that time. But in the global perspective, that China is a country that covers the mainland and also the Taiwan Islands, as recently the UN has reaffirmed its One China principle, that Taiwan is an integral part of China, and the People's Republic of China government is the sole legitimate government that's representing the whole China, including the mainland and also Taiwan Island. So this is a purely internal issue. It is a result of
But we see that US
the
has
foreign
been there.
intervention.
But we see US has been there, and it's continuously passing statements and kind of supporting Taiwan. Don't you think that this could escalate someday, and we might see another global issue or global crisis if such big powers confront each other in that way?
I think for the U.S. issue is they have betrayed and broken their promise and to Chinese side, to the government and to the people, because in the joint community the U.S. clearly said they doesn't support the Taiwan secession forces, and they acknowledge the China's territorial integrity and also their sovereignty. And so this is kind of agreement reached by both sides, and that is also the foundation for the establishment of the diplomatic ties between China and the U.S. in 1979. So that is the foundation. But some politicians in the U.S. they are kind of pushing this kind of this and sending wrong signals to the secession forces in the Taiwan, and to have this kind of provocation to the mainland, to use Taiwan as a pawn, as a chess to against the China's peaceful rise. As China has stated, China pursues its peaceful reunification with the island, and China doesn't give the promise that we will abandon the forces, because of this kind of secession forces are still encouraged by some U.S. politicians. That is the root for the potential the conflicts or something. So that is purely because of the U.S. side. They have sent wrong signals to those kind of secession
And
forces.
you believe
Take
that such kind of
yeah.
provocation can damage the peace talks and the peaceful processes what China has been doing it and trying it over the years?
So let's see what happened in the past 10 or 20 years globally, like in some issue regions. For example, in Africa, the U.S. have encouraged and some weapons to some secession forces, and then you can see the divided country, the Sudan. Sudan has divided into the Sudan in Khartoum and also the South Sudan. So that was encouraged by the U.S. And also you see the recent the Kosovo issue, and it was also led by the NATO and led by the U.S. They have the bombardment and to send the weapons to those kind of secession forces and to undermine those countries' sovereignty. So here in Taiwan is the same. So the U.S. is sending weapons to weaponize these issues to hype up these kind of tensions. But China hopes to have this kind of peaceful unification because both sides, the people on mainland and island, they have the same identity as Chinese, and they have the same ancestors, they have the same culture, they have the same bond, and even in their customs, their language, and also their the celebrations of these festivals like the New Year, they are all the same. We are the same. We are in the same country, and that is China. So the U.S. Foreign intervention is continuous for 7 decades. So this issue shall not be continued, and the U.S. should stop their provocation and to undermine other countries' sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Mr. Shen, briefly, is there any chances or that on the matter of Taiwan that because I've seen some reports, there is a possibility that China and US come eye to eye. Is there any kind of are there any kind of chances?
So far, we didn't see that one because even for the U.S. side, they have these kind of wrong signals to those secession forces on the island, and but they also they are very cautious. They don't want to provoke this kind of confrontation between the two nuclear powered major countries. So I think the U.S. should stop this one and to not escalate the tensions, and China will still pursue its peaceful reunification with the island and to accomplish the national reunification.
Mr. Rizwan, I want you to add on this because what we have been hearing in Pakistan and some of the international media that the issue regarding Taiwan is purely a Chinese matter, but somehow it is portrayed in media that that's an international issue or this could turn something into a global disrupted thing or any kind of such matter that really disrupt the global peace. Do you think that what Mr. Shen has been saying that there is there is an effort regarding provocating people, and that is what replicated?
Well, on China's and Taiwan's issue, my take is very quite clear that Taiwan is integral part of China, like Kashmir is integral part of Pakistan. So I'm quite clear. There's no confusion in my mind. My line is clear that Taiwan is integral part of China, and no country has a right to make any conflicts and interfere in any country's political and solidarity matters. So my take is quite
Somehow
clear,
it's
and
been happening, and we see how Kashmir has been treated, how Taiwan right now has been treated, how Palestine has been.
let me clear this. Basically, USA has a history of making conflicts in the regions, making conflicts in the countries, making proxies, and confuse the situation, divide and rule policy. So I think uh, China and Kashmir in Asian region, these are two nuclear flashpoints. So world should understand that no country has a right to interfere in other countries' affairs. So I'm quite clear. My stance is quite clear.
You are quite clear. Just to conclude things, Mr. Shen, uh, we have been seeing the global peace somehow has been jolted earlier because we had COVID. Now we have Russia Ukraine thing. Now we have Palestine Israel, a massive killing of human beings. We're seeing all these things. Do you see the world is heading towards any big war or anything like that?
I think there's potential risks, especially now we can see that the hotspots, the conflicts in those hotspot regions. So that's now we need the major countries to take their responsibilities, to shoulder their responsibility, to work together for a more common and secure framework. Like China has proposed the global security initiative that. Those countries should not hype up these kind of conflicts and to hype up the situations. So and not sending the wrong signals to the parties involved. As you can see, the world today is not secure than what we have seen in the past decade.
Yes.
So that is because of the lack of mutual trust, and that is have some kind of a block or some camps, and some countries are pushing the to have this kind of camp under the so-called ideology, like the democratic camp or non-democratic camp. That is not good. That is not the right way to have a global development, global security situation. And we have seen during the past 100 and 200 colonial rule by the West, the divide and rule has left so many conflicts. Like we can see in Southern Asia, the Kashmir issue. That is the divide and rule left by the West colonial powers, and the conflicts and the sufferings are still continuous. And for the Israel and the Palestine issue, it is also under this kind of philosophy. So people from the global south have suffered too much from this kind of Western divide and rule, and led them to attack each other and blame each other. So we have suffered enough and enough. So that's the right time to stop that.
Especially the Asian region, which we have seen so many things, that Iran, Israel, that we have seen what happened in Afghanistan, what has been happening between Pakistan and India, and how things have been shaping up. But Mr. Rizwan, just to conclude things, uh, the flashpoints, the Kashmir flashpoint, the what you've seen, the Iranian president, how he died, and now what has been happening between Iran and Israel, and what is happening in Palestine, Israel, and what is happening in Russia, Ukraine, and how all these big countries are in a way eye to eye. Do you think there is a possible flash? Is there, and we see some major development which leads to something not so acceptable for any of us?
They are conflicting the world and trying to rule the world. That is impossible. World has changed now. World is now a global village. So I don't think countries are supporting this agenda. And second, thank you very much for to Mr. Chen, Brother Chen, who definitely expressed their words for Kashmir. So I'm thankful to you, and realities always prevails, Mr. Munir. Reality prevails. If you close your eyes, you can hide the world or hide from world. So I think conflicts are there, but every country's own conflicts should be remain at their own disposal.
Thank you so much, Mr.
And
Rizwan. Yes.
one more thing in the last, I think we have forgotten a very big point about the BRICS. So I want to mention about the BRICS, and I think I request my friend and brother Shen to please say something about BRICS. So I think it's a very important move and very important thing.
Yes, Mr.
And
Shen.
also, Pakistan is waiting for the membership of BRICS. So hope when you meet your official, you will talk there, and Pakistan and BRICS and this Asian Pakistan is very important. I think you understand.
Right,
Okay,
right.
okay, please.
Yes, Mr. Shen.
Yes, yes. BRICS is a very effective mechanism, especially at today's world. We have this strong mechanism to promote development, to promote peace, and to promote governance for the global international arena. Especially now, we can see the deficit of development, the deficit of security, the deficit of mutual trust. So this the kind of mechanism like the BRICS that have those emerging economies that will bring the momentum for the global development and to have a stronger and collaborative voice for the desire of development, the desire of peace, and the desire of common prosperity. And of course, BRICS is an open platform, and we also open the door to the countries like our brother country from Pakistan, and we can see those BRICS plus cooperation mechanism, and even in the coming days for the membership.
That would be a great. In fact, that if that happens, that would be a great news and highlight for Pakistan. But thank you, Mr. Rizwan Shah, joining us from Islamabad, Pakistan, and Mr. Shen joining us from Beijing, China. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and really valuable inputs. And really, it was a great discussion to have that how CPEC has been a great part and of that BRI and how the BRI has been shaping up, how these projects are integral for the entire globe because no country is left out in such projects, and especially that we talked on how the fault lines right now are activated, and these fault lines, the global fault lines are activated in such a way, and if they are not treated well, like Kashmir, Taiwan, Russia, Ukraine, Palestine, this could lead to something disastrous. And at right now, the world really does not have the capacity to hold such kind of events. Thank you so much. Right now, it's time for me to sign out. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
आप देख रहे हैं द डेली शो विद मुनीर नेमत।